What happens when you get a chiropractic adjustment? When we assess your spine at our office, we are checking to see if there's this thing called subluxation. Subluxation is when the bones shift outside of their normal position. That starts to put pressure on the brainstem, the spinal cord, and the nerves coming out of your spine. And what that's doing is it's starting to decrease life into the rest of the body. And so we want to make sure that your spine is in the correct position at all times. Now, that's not always feasible because we are going against gravity all the time. We are sleeping funny. We are on computers, we're on phones, we're on tablets, and we're just in this improper position all the time. One of the biggest things that I see in my practice is forward head posture and text neck with pressure on the back of the spine. And so we want to really work on correcting that because that's not just affecting your neck, it's affecting the rest of your body. Now, the main question is what happens when I get adjusted? Well, when you come in and go through our office, we do a full spine evaluation to see where those subluxations are in your body. And if you already are a patient, every single time that you come into the office, you'll feel Dr. James and I palpating your spine. And that's really to allow us to see where the stuck vertebrae is or where the subluxation is present in your spine. So we check your atlas, we check the rest of your cervical spine, your thoracic spine, your lumbar spine, and your pelvis. And so when we are doing, let's just start down below with the drop table. You hear that big pop, and the piece comes up, and you hear the pop, and the piece comes up, and you hear that about 3 to 4 times when Dr. James and I are adjusting you. What that's doing is it's really helping to set and rotate the pelvis and drop in the sacrum in a specific positioning. Most of you will be using spinal molding wedges that are going to go either left high and right low or right high and left low, depending upon what your pelvis and sacrum configuration looks like at the time of taking your x-rays. And this may change over time of you getting care in the office. Now, what those things do is they literally block the pelvis and keep it in a specific position. And so when we go in there to do the drop part of the table, a lot of times I hear people say, well, I didn't hear anything move and I didn't really feel anything move. And that's not what we're going for. That's not the experience that we're looking for you to have specifically in that adjustment. What that's doing is it's starting to move the pelvis and the sacrum in a specific position and mold it into that space. And so you may not feel anything, you may not hear anything, but it is going to be moving long term over time. Another thing that we do next is palpate up into the thoracic spine. And when you feel us put our hands on your back and then do a thrust, what that's doing is there's a specific bone that has been put out of place. And Dr. James and I are going in there and essentially pushing on that vertebrae, either on the spinous processes or on the transverse processes, which is the wings that go out of the vertebrae or the thing that sticks out that you can feel on the back of your spine. The thing on the back of your spine is called your spinous process. The things that stick out on the vertebrae are called the transverse processes. Those are two of the main places that we set up our hand positioning on. And what we'll do is we'll do a quick thrust, and that's going to create a noise that everybody loves to hear. And a lot of times, though, people associate that noise with how good of an adjustment they just had. And really, there's no correlation between the two. The noise that's coming out is just gas releasing between the joints. And so it's kind of just like a spine fart, if you will, right? And we don't really put too much weight into that. What's more important is that we're moving the spine back into position, decreasing the subluxation, removing the subluxation, taking pressure off the brainstem, the spinal cord, and the nerves to allow your body to heal and function the way that God intended it to. Now, as we move up into the cervical spine, most likely for most of you, we'll have you flip over and lay on your back. In this position, Dr. James and I can feel the spine and see exactly where the bones have moved outside of their normal positioning. Typically, we'll start with a lower cervical adjustment first and find where that is and do a thrust from the side or the other side. Sometimes we do the neck pull with our hands or the Y-strap traction as well. Now, not everybody is going to need a Y-strap traction. Dr. James and I will decide that as we go through your care. Some people need it, some people don't. Some people actually cannot have it because of either previous surgeries or the specific conditioning of their spine in this moment. So not everybody is going to need that. We do like to do a manual adjustment as well. Now, one of the most important parts of your spine, or the most important part, is the atlas. That's the very, very top bone of your your spine. And that's right where the brainstem meets the spinal cord. And that typically either C1 or C2, the atlas or the axis, those are usually the last place that you'll feel Dr. James and I deliver an adjustment on your spine. And what that's doing is making sure the atlas, which may be rotated or shifted over to the left or to the right, we're making sure that that is back into place and the pressure is off of the spinal cord and the brainstem, specifically at the top, and that your brain can start communicating to your body as it was designed to. And so you may be wondering, what should I be expecting as I get adjusted, as I go through this corrective care phase, as I start this whole process with you? You might feel some tension, you might feel some pain, and some new things pop up, and that's totally fine. It's like going to the gym for the first time in a long time. You just might be experiencing things differently because your spine has been in one position for such a long time, and we're shifting and moving things back to where they need to be. It's going to be sore, it's going to be tender, there might be some new feelings that you're going to experience, but give it time, give it a few weeks, give it a couple months as you incorporate your home care exercises, as you incorporate getting your adjustments consistently, and as we start to see correction happen in your spine, that discomfort will fade away over time. But the key to correction of your spine is consistency. Consistency in getting your adjustments as you've been prescribed. That is going to be different for every single person that starts, and also consistency in doing your home care exercises every single day. And so you want to make sure that you're doing your home care exercises as they've been prescribed for you. That's going to be the best case scenario for getting your spine corrected. I hope that helps answer the question of what is actually happening when I get adjusted, and that you can confidently lay down and just prepare to get adjusted and see your spine change and transform over time. We love being a part of your health journey. We love being a part of your spinal correction, and we can't wait to see what's next for you in this health journey. We'll see you soon.